This is the strip for the backrest, and this is the pattern for the strip for the seat.
Okay.
And that is the most common thing to have to be cut out because we seem to be selling a lot of those little ones lately.
Yeah.
So we just
So only have one of these per one template per
item.
per item. Okay.
Yep. And they are different, although essentially the same. So I don't know why when they first did this they cut out the middle because that's very confusing. But that's the pattern I have, and I don't have pattern material, can't remake it. So you always start at the end or at the edge of your fabric.
Oh, that's where the notch comes from. Okay.
Put your notches in there. And on the stool seats, we do 3 across. Go all the way around the pattern. And when I do it, I do always the wide side down.
Wide side to the edge.
Wide side to the edge. You get a straighter line, you've got more surface. You want me to stuff the door?
Every time I do, the boxes are back in place again.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be pretty short, right?
Len doesn't like it. I know. And then you go short side to short side, and you run it down. Fabric. You always start this way and work your way that way.
Okay.
This side of the fabric generally seems to be straighter than that for some reason. I don't know. You want to hit your edge to edge as often as possible so that you only have to cut so many lines.
Right.
If you leave a space, you got
Gotta cut
more
twice.
lines to cut. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to cut out
2 pairs?
6 of these, or 9 of these, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Yep. Put that in place, make sure it doesn't slip around on you. In this case, normally I would go 1, 2, 3, and then do strips. With your X-Cup, you can usually get 1 strip each. But I'm only needing 6. So we're going to do it this way.
Okay.
So you've got that one, and you need your other half. This one, you actually trace the inside.
Oh, I see. That's why it's confusing because the other one doesn't need it.
Exactly, the other one doesn't need it. So then you go across on this one. Whatever you're doing, like I said, you always want to try and get edge to edge. Wherever you can reach it. When you come across, when you work on this side, you do not want to start from this edge and work your way in the middle. Because then you end up with a strip in the middle. If you're going to have empty space, you want it to be on the outside, makes it easier to deal with. So then we're going to cut the same amount of these, which would be, never mind. Alright. This is where you have to think because we have an offset. These are long. So we're going to take these and we're going to fill this space.
So depending on how many you need and what you actually need, you kind of have to plan your puzzle.
Exactly.
It's like a big game of Tetris.
Right. And then whenever, like, you may not be cutting out stools. If you have couches or something to lay out, whatever else you're laying out, whenever you have area to put these strips in, you do. Whenever you have the space to put either this one or that smaller one in, you fit it in there because you can never have enough of these.
These
And
are
on
like your
this
fillers.
one- Yeah. And on this one, you always go back to back because of that, because of this taper there.
Right.
It's kind of hard to see. So this way, if you go back to back and you have the straight end to straight end and the taper, it's very obvious that this is your tapered end. Makes it easier when you cut it out to remember which way you're going. And because if we're making 6 of these, we're going to need 6 strips. I'm going to run it this way. This one's going to end up being longer. You don't draw straight across on that, only just enough because when you're sewing, that was that middle line that we were using. That was that directional piece. Now we get 2 more. And lock those, we're not going to, but that's crazy. Alright, now we got 5 of these. Now we have an extra there, so we're not going to worry about it. We have this space here, so now we're going to take the smaller one and do the same thing, filling in and using whatever you can out of this. You can tell right there, there's just not wide enough room. Alright, so we're going to fold this over. We're done with these two, we put them off to the side. We're going to want the same amount of these as we do with the other. Which way? If you want to know how to judge the best way and how much, you put a little dot and you go, okay, how many of these can I get out? Because, I've been doing this a long time, but I'm still not that good at that extra. So we're going to have extra space regardless of. So, you always try and figure out how you can do it without too much zigzag. There's going to be a little bit of waste, so you try and determine what's more pertinent. That little bit of waste that's going to be wasted somewhere else, or starting and being able to cut it out easily. And then when it comes down to the end, your fabric will be more symmetrical. So we're just going to let that go. It will shave off a good 5 minutes in cutting it. You can't go that way, by the way. I did mark my counter because the stretch is called bias. Stretch of the fabric. If you go this way, it won't go around the right way.
Good point.
Yeah.
See?
You know what's really interesting is you're the first person that's asked me that. So. I'm making 6 of the bottom pieces, or only 6 of these.
So you could never do these ones this way? You could never...
No.
Wow.
Good to know.
Yeah,
See why I'm
I don't think so. I've never tried it. I know I have tried that and it does not work. It has to go with grain. And then there's other things that have to go this way, but most of them that go this way have been more. And those are for the, for the seat assemblies and stuff, for the bigger pieces. So now we're getting to where we are. Caught up with the other side. Stop here. Well, actually, we don't have to stop here. Because I know I'm only drawing out 6, I can go ahead and do 6 more here. Or 3 more. Then if you go back to that, it's easier to cut. Now when you cut, you get a straight line through. And I have 6 of these, and you have 6 of those. That's over here, we got 2 we need. It does make a difference if you how you hold the pen sometimes. Most of the time it's pretty minute, it's not a huge thing.
You mean as far as straight up and down or at an angle?
Exactly. But you can actually add
Yeah, like a
to
16th
your
of an inch.
pattern. So if nothing else, you want to get used to holding the pen the same direction or the same way all the time. So at least everything you do is consistent.
Yeah.
So now we've got our 6 of these, there's 6 of each of these, and all we need is those strips. When you're cutting out the stools and you're doing it 3 across, you'll end up with an odd number. It's better to draw and cut that last piece so you get, say, 51 or 26 instead of the 25. Cutting out that extra piece will keep your fabric copacetic, and you will need it at some point. So I just put that off to the side. You just have to remember your count. Then we'll come over here and we will run these down because now we need 6 of those to go with those. And that will bring your fabric to pretty darn close to the easy cut. And it's just a matter of kind of trying to figure out what you're doing. It tends to be easier when you know you're doing 50 of them. You draw out 50 and it's the same principle with the pouches. When you draw pouches, you draw back to back. So if one side's, you always put the whitest side up against the fabric here and go across. And again, with these strips, you can never have enough. Match it up here. Get it that way, it just gives you more cutting lines again.
Yeah, there's not
There
much
you
waste
have it.
at all.
Yep. So, that's
And then
pretty much it.
And it's just a bunch of
And
scissors
then-
work.
And now you just get to cut it out. But I'm gonna let her do that.
Did we miss
Yeah.
anything? Did you capture the essence of?
Okay, so yeah, I guess are primarily, okay, this is all chair stuff. So most of this we don't have to deal with. This is for the red chair back. And you just, and this side up shows them this way, go
Are
this
we
way.
still doing the red chair back?
They're hoping, yeah, they're hoping not to have to. and then you just would go that way with it.
Okay.
And then cut the strip on the end,
So
same
you just take a
principle.
glimpse of that.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh,
And these are pretty, so you front of, keep this side up, and then it goes this direction on your fabric.
and you can do what, 2 or 3?
You can do 3, but you need, because there are 2 halves, so you go 1, 2, and 3, and then 1, 2, 3. You just got to make sure you got the same amount of both sides when you're done.
Right.
And that's why, and when you do like this, where you have them off that odd shape, if when you go to cut the next time, if you switch them, it keeps it more even.
Yeah.
More
Because
lined up even.
more lined up, because if you do
I
the small
see.
one, then you're gonna cut,
Yeah.
you're gonna get ahead of yourself somewhere
Right.
along the line.
Yeah.
Right. So that's pretty much it there, and then all the different pouches.
Oh wow.
And again, it's just a matter of, okay, let's say I've got this one. Oh, that's extra. So, like this is the one that's just 3 across. It's the easiest one to do. I love it.
Oh yeah.
But the sink pouches that we have a variety of, you have this one will go from here.
But we have it going.
Sometimes you can actually get 2. If this one goes
Oh, yeah.
there you go for stool strips.
Yeah.
The fabric comes in just enough different widths that sometimes I try and gauge the rolls and save the biggest roll, widest roll.
Oh, yeah.
for these. Because if I go from there to there,
Oh, just
See?
yeah. Just
just that little bit, which means now I have all that empty space. And
Yeah.
when you're cutting out 50 of these, that's a long run.
yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And this is about the only one.
That's bigger than half.
Yes. Yeah. So again, it's just a matter of what's needed at the time, what the demand is for, and then you try and figure out, okay, I can get this one here, this one there, and I'll fill in the space with stools. Having stuff pre-cut, you don't want to sit there and cut out an extra 50 stools,
Yeah.
because then when they come to try and count fabric,
yeah.
but if you can pull in those few extra, it's not enough to mess up anything.
Because that's
So.
never been ever.
Yeah. So that's it. Pretty.
All right.
For final package.
At least I think it's pretty basic.
And anytime anything is ever changed.
I'm discovering that that's not the norm for people.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.